Hey YouTube, it's Jamie99 here with another review, and there is a bad glare going on because the light is right above it. And, yeah, try to move it and hold it up a little bit. World Wrestling Entertainment presents the history of the Intercontinental Championship. I finally made it through this one. I sort of, but I was listening to the Steve Austin show and watching the matches while this was going on, and it goes over the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. I really like how these are set up, and this is from 1979 to 2008, and the WWE one, the WWE Championship one, is 19-something to 2005. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I need the World Heavyweight Championship one. I made it through this one because the Intercontinental Championship is probably my favorite belt. It has had some classic matches, and most of the time, people that have the Intercontinental Championship turn themselves into stars, like Macho Man and Edge, Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Jeff Hardy, just lots of people. But yeah, I'll show you this real quick. This is a little insert paper. My history of WWE Championship doesn't have one. I don't know if it even came with one. But yeah, it's got Chris Jericho, Kerry Von Erich, the Texas Tornado, Mark Marrow. I think that's who that is up there. British Bulldog, Bret Hart. Have no clue who that dude is. I think that's Pat Patterson. I can't tell. I don't even know. Tito Santana, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Jeff Hardy, Ricky Dragon Steamboat. I think that's Pedro Morales, Ricky the Dragon, Macho Man Randy Savage, and The Rock. And I think this says what it says. Oh, maybe there is no back on this. But I like how it is. It looks like a book, and it opens up like a book. I wish they would do more set up like this. It's very cool. The Intercontinental Championship has a rich and storied history, and the biggest names in sports entertainment have worn its gold on the road to immortality since the late 1970s. It has been held by current and future Hall of Fame superstars, including Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Ultimate Warrior, Bret the Hitman Hart, Mr. Perfect, Eddie Guerrero, Edge, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and so many more. WWE fans have spoken, choosing their favorite Intercontinental Championship matches from the decade, and the top voted matches have been collected in this 3-disc set. Now, this is outdated because the WWE Intercontinental Championship sort of looks somewhat like that. But, yeah. I think that's white. That's what it sort of looks like. I can't really tell. But, yeah, enough with that. Let's get started. This was hosted by Todd Grisham, and each disc he has on a different title. Disc one, the 80s, he had on like just like that one. And then on the 90s he had a yellow one, I'm pretty sure. And then on the 2000s he had that one on. And he would talk like these little things in between some of the matches he would talk about. But let's get started with it. This was probably the most boring disc to me, except for a few matches maybe. And I'm probably not going to go in depth. I'm just going to list the matches and then maybe talk about some of them. The inaugural champion, don't remember it talks about the first win. Then it shows Pat Patterson versus Ted DiBiase for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship at Madison Square Garden, 10/27/97 or 10/22/97, and it doesn't even show the first match. I don't see why they would do that. And then have a disc called the 80s, and then show one from 79, and it not even being the first match or the first title match. An Olympian strongman versus the fiery Latino. Ken Patera versus Pedro Morales. Madison Square Garden, 10/20/80. I'm not even going to say Intercontinental Championship match unless there's I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to say if there's a stipulation, I'll say like tables, ladders, steel cage, whatever. The knockout, drag-out fight. Pedro Morales versus the Magnificent Morocco. Madison Square Garden, 12/28/82. The Super Splash Steel Cage match for the WWE Intercontinental. Oh, I said it. Steel Cage match. Magnificent Morocco versus Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Madison Square Garden, 10/17/83. Ariba and the Hammer. Lumberjack match for the Intercontinental Championship. Oh my god. Greg the Hammer Valentine versus Tito Santana. Madison Square Garden, 3/17/85. Tito Santana versus Macho Man Randy Savage. Boston Garden, 2/8/86. The greatest ever. This is probably the best one on this disc. Macho Man versus Randy Savage. Oh my god, I am botching this review up. Randy Macho Man Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, WrestleMania 3, 3/29/87. The guitar playing antagonist, Intercontinental Champion. Oh my gosh. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Honky Tonk Man on Superstar, 6/2/87. End of an era. Honky Tonk Man versus Ultimate Warrior SummerSlam, 8/29/88. And he lost to Ultimate Warrior in like a minute after like 454-day reign as champ. Then the Ladies' Man, Ravishing Rick Rude versus Ultimate Warrior SummerSlam, 8/28/89. And here's the disc. I didn't really show him. Sort of cool looking how they have like the scrolls, and they have the scrolls on that. I think no. And the discs are the same. They just the 2000s, the 1990s, and the 1980s. Well, this was probably the most boring disc. Now on to the next disc. The Perfect Champion. Mr. Perfect versus Bret the Hitman Hart. SummerSlam, 8/26/91. Divided Loyalties. Bret the Hitman Hart versus British Bulldog. SummerSlam, 8/29/92. Stealing the Show. Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels. WrestleMania 10, 3/20/94. Believing in Yourself. Razor Ramon versus Jeff Jarrett. Royal Rumble, 1/22/95. One of the greatest rivalries in history. Rocky Maivia versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Your House D-Generation X, 12/7/97. New level of popularity. Triple H versus Rock, 2/3 Falls. In Your House Fully Loaded, 7/26/98. The Ninth Wonder of the World. Good Housekeeping match. Jeff Jarrett versus China No Mercy, 10/17/99. I thought that was a funny match. This was a good disc, pretty entertaining, and yeah, a lot more entertaining to me than the 1980s one. And yeah, most of the titles are the same thing, or just pretty much setting it up for the match. Nothing too big. I'm not even really gonna go over those. Now that I think about it, it's sort of a waste of time, because it pretty much says it. Perfect Champion, Mr. Perfect, Divided Loyalties, and that was Diana Hart. Didn't want to pick her brother over her husband, or her husband over her brother. I don't know what Believing in Yourself was. I think Jeff Jarrett didn't believe in himself, or believed in himself or something. I don't know. And next, the next and last disc, probably, I can't really pick which one I like the best. I like them both. And the New Millennium, Chris Jericho versus Kurt Angle, No Way Out 2000, or 227, 2000. Triple threat match, Eddie Guerrero versus Chris Jericho versus X-Pac, SmackDown 10-12, 2000, David versus Goliath. Oh, I forgot 3 is better than 2. Triple H versus Jeff Hardy, SmackDown 4-12-01, Intercontinental versus European Championship ladder match, Unification, Rob Van Dam versus Jeff Hardy, Raw 7-22-02, Battle of the Young Guns, Edge versus Randy Orton, 7-11-04, former world champions collide, Steel Cage match, Ric Flair versus Triple H, Taboo Tuesday, 11-1-05, Money in the Bank and Intercontinental Championship, winner takes all, Backlash, I was there, 06, Rob Van Dam versus Shelton Benjamin, 4-3-06, Fresh Faces, triple threat match for the WWE triple threat match, Carlito versus Johnny Nitro versus Shelton Benjamin, Vengeance 625-06, Jeff Hardy versus Umaga, the Great American Bash 722-07, number 8, that is, I forgot 1 minute wrecking crew. I keep skipping out on these things. Not a big deal, they're just really short. Hyping that part up. And yeah, and that last match was Jeff Hardy versus Chris Jericho, Raw 3-10-08. And then the matches speak for themselves. They probably could have made this better now if they made one, because they're allowed to use the WWF logos and stuff. But they had to go through and pick, and it'd be a lot easier for them to probably make another one or remake this and put better matches, or matches that they couldn't use because of the WWF. I'm saying WWF and stuff. But it's a good set for an Intercontinental Champion fan. Some good wrestling matches, some entertaining matches, and then some boring matches for the older fans that I'm not really a fan. I'm not really a fan of the 80s. It is what it is. Hogan and them, say your prayers and take your vitamins and stuff. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the 80s wrestling. I'm more of a 95 and up fan. And there's matches that I do like from back then. I like 95 and up mostly. But overall, it's a good set. Has some good matches. But for me, it's sort of hard for me to sit through 3 discs of pretty much nothing but matches. And that's why I mostly only get documentaries. I don't really get much compilation DVDs unless I really want them. But overall, I'll give this 7 out of 10. Most of the matches, or not most of them, I'd say half of the matches I've never heard of, or didn't really remember too well. So it was good to watch it, and not too expensive. I think I paid $4 or something like that, because at Half Price Books, I told them that it was broken right there, and they took like $1 or $2 off. And yeah, works perfectly. You guys should try to get a copy. It's probably less than $5. I don't know, but yeah, I'll try to maybe watch the WWE Championship one sometime soon. And that's about it. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, bye.